this kind of breaks down as far as cash, marketing, et cetera?
We really haven't dove into that yet. We just got the deal finished, and there'll be a combination of both. There's no question about it. But the most important thing we're going to need is equipment and apparel.
Is this money, is it solely for the athletic department, or is it spread out throughout the school?
It's for the athletic department. It's for these student athletes.
Can it help in any way?
It's been earmarked. It's been earmarked for that. That was a very important thing to Adidas and the Mark King, president.
If you would, talk about that. Talk about what it goes for as far as the athletic department and how you...
Well, again, we're just diving into that right now. We've spent the last 18 months trying to put the deal together and coming up with new innovations, but we haven't really settled on a plan. And we'll do that internally. We'll figure that out.
Well, I mean, it benefits all sports.
All sports, you bet. It's for everybody.
When you say it's earmarked for the student athletes, does that mean there are not bonuses for the coaches as part of this?
We haven't really dove into that yet.
Beyond apparel, what other ways is Adidas tied to, whether it's signage, what other sort of things beyond just the apparel?
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of innovation in the IPR on the campus. They're going to be on our campus with us with a lot of different ideas that they're going to grow with. It'll be great for our student athletes to be a part of that. It's a very innovative process. We see them much more than shoes and uniforms. They're going to be helping us mentor these young people. They've already started that with this, Drew. All these young people are going to have wonderful, wonderful opportunities with them. And so I think it's really going to grow very, very healthy in the future. But I wouldn't even say we have a roadmap. I think we've got a strategic plan, but I don't think we have a roadmap. And I think that's the beauty of this company. They're ready to shift on a dime. And that's important for us because a lot of people can't shift. A lot of people can't move a barge and turn it on a dime. I think these guys can, and that's what we're excited about.
Does this take any of the pressure off in regards to the Young Center and the additional payments there, that sort of thing?
I really haven't looked at it that way. I really haven't. I think this is more just a win for the student athletes.
How do you view that you guys have kind of been? You guys will wear some new uniforms. I mean, have you always viewed as a school that's put on whatever Adidas kind of wants you to do, and maybe try and be at the forefront of some of the stuff?
Well, we always want to. We got our equipment manager Chuck Holler here right now, and we want to do what Adidas wants us to do. And they know they don't come in and say we want you to be crazy. They want things that look good for their company too. So it's been a cooperative agreement. I leave that really in the hands of Chuck and Bobby and Chris and Jim, and then Jeremy Lowry's here, who's our rep from Adidas. So those are the ones that make that decision. But those black helmets were a hit. I know that.
Is this some good news after kind of months of adversity?
I would, when I think things register, I think this would register as probably good news.
What happens to this deal with the NCAA sanctions looming?
I don't think anything.
The deal stays a problem?
I don't think there's any problem.
Tom, your focus early on was on multiple sports, gender equity, that kind of thing. How has Adidas helped you in that partnership?
Well, they've been a strong partner in every sport we have. They don't value one over the other. They've never said that this is a basketball school or a football school or a baseball school. They say it's every bit as much a field hockey school or a women's cross country school as it is anything else. Plus, they want the development of the student athletes, as you see on my right and left here. So that's the important thing to me. They've never looked at it. At least I have never seen them look at it where they break it down by sport.
Are any new dimensions to this new contract? Things will be done differently, or things we haven't seen in the past?
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a lot that we haven't seen in the past. That's the key idea and ingredient behind it. And the way these people think, there'll be probably a lot of different things we see.
How's the Adidas partnership with the new expansion on the North End football stadium?
That's been great. They've been a big part of it, and without Adidas, we wouldn't have that expansion. That's how important they've been to it. You'll see our players will now come out of the three-stripe zone. That three-stripe zone will be a big part of what we do from now moving forward, and couldn't ask for a better partner in that expansion. That expansion is fantastic, and it's going to be just a beautiful addition, not only to the stadium, but to the campus.
How much credit do you even give players in the past for some of the things?
Oh, you give them all. You give them all the credit.
Just even in the last
They were the building blocks, and as we talked about last night at the dinner, they were the foundation. And there's many, many people before me, there'll be many, many people after me, but the foundation is the key, and that's the beautiful part about it. And I think you'll be able to hear that. I don't know if our university produced probably a more perfect icon than Junior Bridgman, so to hear him talk about that was pretty refreshing. And to see him at the dinner last night was wonderful, but I think he could speak for so many student athletes for spanning many, many generations.
Tom, how many different contract extensions have you had with Adidas? Going back to the first one you said where you guys were paying retail.
We've had
How
quite
many
a few.
times have you changed? 3 or 4?
Quite a few,
Yeah.
quite a few.
We're
I don't know the number. We've had quite a few.
Something changed in the landscape that makes you more comfortable with a 10-year deal as opposed to the last one?
But we're very comfortable with Adidas. That was a number I think we just both agreed on from the start, and thought that was a great place to go, and gives the person that follows me an option to up the deal. I had to settle for this deal.
Why do you seem to like the fit of being a preeminent member of the Adidas family versus maybe a different company? That seems to be a fit with your philosophy.
Well, their philosophy and our philosophy really, they do intersect, and I think if you get to meet their president, Mark King, and he'll be here he was here last year for some games, and he'll be here again this year. He really exudes that same vibe, I guess for lack of a better word, but he gets it. These guys, they get it. They get what these student athletes are all about. They get what our program's about. They get what our coaches are about. And you don't often have that synergy. I always look at, I've always been, when I've hired coaches, I say, first thing I want is passion, second thing I want is fit. And I think we get both of these with Adidas. Our coaches are elated about this deal. It's in the marketplace, it's phenomenal, and all those numbers mean a lot to everybody. We will never disregard those or not be appreciative of them. But I think it's the partnership is the most important thing in this thing, and as we go forward. And I think the great thing is that we don't have a whole bunch of plans. That's what they got. They got all kinds of crazy people working with them. And they're going to come up with all kinds of ideas. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how we move it. The stability has been fantastic. From our standpoint, there's not another company we'd want to be with or partner up with at all.
Both in the branding and in the video, we see that phrase, "We the future." What does that phrase mean to you?
Well, we the future. We is up here. We is we as Card Nation. We as Card Family. I like to call it Card Family, not so much Card Nation. The people that are with you when times are good and when times are bad. They know. And in athletics, we know there's always going to be speed bumps along the way. But who can get through those speed bumps? Who can get through the adversity? And that's what we like. So the future is obvious to everybody. The future is something we're really excited about. I think all these athletes right here, I don't think this school's ever been primed for a better year coming up than the one I think we're going to have this 2017 and 2018 school year. And then just talk to all the coaches and see what the future really looks like. We the future is going to be a standard saying around here.
You talked about how the deal was focused towards the student athletes, but what will the fans notice about this new deal, and how soon will they start to see that?
That's going to probably be up to them. That's a better question for them, but I'm sure you'll see plenty of innovation.
It'd probably be a good time to, if we could pause, and we'll just bring Chris up to answer a few questions, sir. Yes. Any questions from Chris?
Chris, can you?
Talk about your commitment to this university, to this athletic department, despite some of the adversity, recent adversity. Why are you so committed to U of S?
Yeah, and I think, just walking around campus and seeing really what Tom and the staff here have done to really over-deliver on every deal we've had in the past is really a special moment. I know even, Mark King's relatively new to the company. When we brought him out here, he felt like he was at home or at an extension of an Adidas office. It's unlike anything else really that we have from a partnership across the country, but it's something that we take great pride in. And coming in here and seeing our branding, knowing what we're doing here with the interns, a lot of exciting ideas have been kicked around for the future and how we can innovate both on the field and really tap into the resources that the university has here to make us a better company. It's stuff that we're all very excited about in the future.
Chris, can you speak to the point about maybe not the crazy people, but the innovation that you guys have and how, obviously there's been new things here in the last couple of years, but what can we
think of the
Yeah,
future?
And I think, we are the creator brand, right? So we're always going to look at new ways to bring great products to market for these student athletes to get better in their particular sport. And that's how we want to bring innovation onto the field, whether that's in footwear, the uniforms. We won't go crazy. We'll always, uphold the standards, the refined standards and marks of the university, but how can we continue to put new materials into our products that are going to help athletes perform better? That's really what our brand's all about, and that's what this partnership will bring out.
What does Adidas gain from essentially having Louisville as its flagship school?
Yeah, and I think, we love the success, obviously, of all the programs here. And it's something we take great pride in. We all become fans. If you're an Adidas employee around the world, you become a fan of this university because when you win, the brand wins also. And we take great pride in that. And knowing, obviously, the great success that has happened here with all the programs, it's something that we hopefully will continue to achieve together. And knowing that we're outfitting great athletes on a daily basis in our products is something we take great pride in.
In the video, there was a statement from Tom about the leap of faith. What's the leap of faith now, considering the current situation with the adversity?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a leap of faith. We're not going to, let something define a legacy that's been built here over time. So it's something we take great pride in. It goes back to the partnership. And, we're always abreast of the activities that take place with all our university partners. And, we know what the future looks like for our brand, and we know what partners we want to have with us. And that's why this is such a great relationship we have here.
Chris, as you're negotiating for 18 months or so, and Tom has on campus the Heisman Trophy winner, the baseball player of the year, Olympians, can you just talk about kind of the hand that he held in negotiations with the athletes?
Yeah, obviously, once again, it's like family, right? So you're almost negotiating over a nice dinner all the time, and it's not. And I don't want to say it's a negotiation. We both know where we wanted to go. It was just a matter of getting through some things both on each other's sides, checking the boxes, making sure we had all the pieces in play to really bring it to light. So negotiations are fun, but like I said, this one is more about family. We both had a vision of where our brand wants to go, where Tom wants to take athletics here, and they marry, right? So it's really an easy decision at the end of the day.
Can you speak to the recent months that Adidas has had? It seems like the trajectory is pretty strong.
Yeah, and a lot of that credit, obviously goes to Mark King, who Tom spoke so eloquently about, and you saw in the video. We have really hit our stride in North America. We're seeing a lot of gains, and we're very excited about that. It really has to do with, obviously, the success that we see here with these student athletes and across all our college partners, as well as, producing products that are innovative for our consumers and people really wanting the three stripes. So it's been a great ride, trajectory that we're on, and that's where I think, partnerships like this help us continue to drive that trajectory.
Adidas has partnered with musicians and different artists and that kind of thing. Do you see that entering the collegiate space at all?
I think there's a fusion of sport culture is what we call it. And, being the creator brand, I think it's fair to say every athlete wants to be a musician and every musician wants to be an athlete. And given the history of our brand, and we feel we're the only ones that can really interlock and bring those two relationships together. Obviously, we have a rich heritage in athletics, really being the first original sporting goods brand in the world. And then obviously the fusion and what we've done in the 1980s with Run DMC and some of the things that we've seen from a musical standpoint, and we can bring those two together.
Chris, a deal of this magnitude become worth it? How do you measure whether it's a lot of money involved, so how does it become worth it?
Yeah, there's a lot of metrics that we use internally to kind of measure, I guess, the ROI of these deals. Obviously, just walking around campus, seeing the success of all the student athletes, and knowing, obviously, the fine institution that we're a partner of and how we can tap into those resources are all great measurements for us.
For these apparel deals, I think people automatically think basketball, football, but what role do the other sports, and those sports being successful, how much value do they add? How do you factor that in and calculating value for this deal?
There's a lot of value in that. Don't forget we're a brand that produces products for every athlete, regardless of sport. So, we take great pride in being able to outfit all Olympic sports. And that's a great business for us, right? And, football and basketball are dominant from an exposure standpoint. But, at the end of the day, we want to make sure we're selling running shoes our training shoe or our training apparel business is up there, and that's why having these athletes perform in our products is such a great measurement of what our success can be.
Going back to the question I posed to Tom, how quickly will fans see the byproduct on their side of this deal?
Yeah, we have a lot of great innovative products coming down the pipeline here that we'll release here a little closer to timelines when we're ready to put those on the field. I think, with any great relationship, we've gotten to this point where we know we've agreed on everything. Now the real work comes into play. So there's a lot of exciting things, and the internship program is one thing that we've seen here over the current deal, and we're looking to replicate a lot of those things of how we can better interact with the student athlete.
You said that you've been you've been in these for 18 years, is that
Yes.
correct? How do you reflect on the status of Louisville, maybe as Tom was saying, that first contract when they were paying retail for shoes, and now, 20 years later, it says you've been a part of it too and seen it?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exemplary of what, Tom has done here at the university. I mean, just look at where we are right now. And I knew Tom Mercer very well, who did the first deal. And I remember talking to him about it, and he was excited at the point. I mean, it was a traditional sales guy, right? So he loved the business. But to see, obviously, the transition and what the university is becoming and what it means from an athletic standpoint to the rest of the country is extraordinary. And, we like to line that up with, with the success we've achieved over those 20 years has been hand in hand with what the success that you guys have all received or achieved here also.
We just saw new deals with Georgia Tech and Nebraska and now Louisville. Do you hope to expand? What's your goal collegiately?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we want to have a close-knit family, right? We have long-term partnerships, with Nebraska, as you said, we've been with them for about 20 years also. Kansas has also been a long-term partner, and obviously we have great relationships in Texas and Arizona State and Miami also. So we're looking to have a nice close-knit family. I mean, I think what you see here from a partnership standpoint is something that we take to the other schools, right? And we'll never have everyone. We don't want to be in the business of gathering and collecting assets and not being able to work with them in partnership. So we'll keep a select few, keep our numbers to a point where it's about partnerships and not really transactional relationships.